Hello everybody, this is Paul from Zoza Games, and this video is going to be about Sigourney Weaver playing Ellen Ripley and how that would translate over to Classic Traveller to Book 1. Now, I know this can be done because I did it when I was about 16 years old, and it began basically my interest in pushing aliens and the Outland kind of film look into my Traveller campaign throughout my teens. And it stuck with me for years later. Tried other games, added those with Traveller, the ideas I'd already created, and it ended up being sort of 40 years later, the hostile setting. So the hostile setting wasn't created 6 years ago just out of a bit of brainstorming. What should we make a game about? It's my version of Traveller that's matured and developed over many years, and a lot of things that are in it I had years and years ago when I was 16, 20 years old from other games, other ideas, other movies, all piled in there, smoothed out, hidden away, all had their way. But the first one, what you might call it if you're watching a film, the inciting incident, would be me translating Ellen Ripley into Classic Traveller. I did this when I was about, like I said, 16 years old. What was that? 83, 84, 84, something like that. And then when I watched Aliens, again, that influenced the same thing. Of course, the Games Designer Workshop game 2300 came out and basically encapsulated the whole of the Traveller ethos there, but without the darkness, the conspiracy, the horror. So it was interesting to me, um, but it didn't quite catch my imagination quite like the films did. Right, so let's get on with this then. I've got a basic character sheet here because all we're interested in really are the characteristics and the skills. But that is basically any classic Traveller character sheet. So we'll flip the book open and we need to know what career is she following? Well, that's a pretty simple one. She's a commercial spacer, as we say in Hostile, which makes her in the Alien role-playing game a space trucker. She's a crewman on a freighter, and that would make her a merchant. So the merchant careers all here. We've got skills, so we're sorted. She has a career ready to slot into. The ranks don't match up. Look, warrant officer here, and these are first, second, third, and fourth officer. Now these merchant ranks, they match well with modern day ocean-going commercial ranks. The captain will have some key officers who run the ship and take turns in bridge duty. So there's always a member, one of these officers on the bridge at any one time. They're all command positions. So we've got a bit of a mismatch here. Warrant officer. Now she's called warrant officer in the book and also in the 1978 shooting script, which we have a copy of here. And if we look at the point where they're introduced, you'll see that she's introduced around the table as a warrant officer. Now the others, captain that's a position as well as a rank. Here it would be a position. Executive officer, that's a position, not a rank. Science officer, navigator, engineer, engineering technician. These are all positions held rather than ranks, but the warrant officer is quite uniquely a military rank. So a sergeant major in the British Army, that's his position, but his pay grade, the rank he needs to achieve that will be warrant officer. So it doesn't really match the rest of the crew positions. I've checked the book, which I've got here, and in the book she's called warrant officer at the beginning, and unfortunately, clashing with the film, she's called, this is Ripley, ident number, warrant officer, last survivor of the commercial starship Nostromo. So she is a warrant officer here, but this is based on one of the scripts. But I've got the 78 script, and the 78 script distinctly says, final report of the commercial starship Nostromo, third officer reporting. and that made it into the film. So third officer, it jigged with me straight away. Third officer, she is a merchant. It just lined up beautifully with the classic travel rules. So she's a third officer, so I'm going to cross that out here. Third officer, which is really neat because now we have a rank. So she's rank 2, and that will be useful in working out how many skill levels she's entitled to and what kind of skills we can give her. Age 30. The Sigourney was 30 when she made the film, and in the DVD extras for Aliens there are some bios of the different characters, and there it mentions her birthday, and that matches with the age of 30 as well. So that's great. So she's done 3 terms according to the classic travel rules. So rank 2, and we've got 3 terms. We'll use this to help us work out skill levels. Now the characteristics: strength, dexterity, endurance, intelligence, education, and social. We'll go with strength first. Now she's not carrying out pull-ups like Vasquez in Aliens. Um, she seems athletic enough, but I'm going to give her a strength of 6. She doesn't flex her muscles. She doesn't show us particularly any massive feats of strength. Dexterity, I'm going to go for a higher one because of all the work she did, certainly in Aliens as well, climbing through vents that nobody else could get through, jumping, climbing, carrying newt around, carrying 2 weapons at once. So I'm going to give her a 10 in that. Endurance, this has got to be high. Actually, no, I'll swap that round. I'm going to give her an endurance of 10, and I'm going to give her a dexterity of 8. So above average for dexterity. Again, she's not doing any gymnastics or cartwheels or, I don't know, anything particularly amazing. So we'll keep that just above average. Endurance, will give her a 10 though, because if you consider endurance could be stamina, but it of course would be willpower, determination, and she's certainly got a lot of that. And of course the kind of knocks and scrapes that she gets into, she's very, very, very tough. So endurance 10. Intelligence. Now in the films, she always seems to be the most intelligent person in the room. So again, this is going to be high, I think. Maybe not so education. We'll lower that a little bit. But it's intelligence. Yeah, on the DVD extras there, on the bio of Ripley, it does say that she went to university, but she was singled out by the company. It said IQ level 8.7. If that's out of 10, that's a good IQ. And personality matrix is level 7. Performance ratings exceed average readings of warrant officers in the fleet. What else does it say about her? Prognosis for promotion to highest rank obtainable is probable. So she really has something going for her. What does it say here? Once she's logged the minimum miles for promotion to operating officer, she can transfer to the flagship fleet. So certainly she's got a good intelligence, and I think I might give that a 10 as well. Education. She's been to university, we know that. She doesn't wave knowledge around to everybody. She doesn't beat them down with facts about astronomy or astrophysics or things like that. So we're going to give her what she needs to get the pilot skill, because she does in the book, at least in the book, she's given the opportunity to pilot the Nostromo, so she has pilot skill, although you don't see it on screen. So we're going to give her 8, which is the minimum she needs on this table here to achieve pilot skill. And then social. Now I use social in my games, always have really, because I don't use the Third Imperium with its social stratification. I use this as a social influence, persuade, bribery, that kind of skill, characteristic. So you might think she's going to get a high score here because of her leadership abilities, but they were really forced upon her in Aliens and then repeated in Alien 3. But in the first film, you'll see if this is a measure of social ability, to be honest, she's not well liked at all. The engineers despise her and hate her. The captain finds her totally exasperating. Dallas argues with her all the time. She's constantly countermanding him. She's constantly picking apart what he wants to do and what his orders are. The Ash, she argues with Ash and doesn't get on with him. And then Lambert, uh, they have arguments when it comes to issues about the lifeboat. And there's that little scene when they're arguing right at the very beginning about what system are we in, and you see Lambert's face. She screws up her face there. She doesn't like Ripley. It's not a friendly banter or anything like that. So I'm going to give her a shockingly low 4. But this is Traveller, and you can get away with characteristics as low as that. If I write that again, it's 6, 8, A, 8, 4. You might put 7 for strength. Put a higher education. But I don't want it to come across as some kind of superwoman by having really high stats across the board. That defeats the object of a character really, which is, well, all the characters in the film, which are everyman kind of characters. Okay, I'll go into skills. Now, we worked out skills. She's going to get 1 for each turn, and an extra 1 for the first turn, and then she's going to get 2 for rank 2. So that gives us 6 skill levels to play with. The first one I'm going to give her immediately is Vac Suit 1. Because you see her use it, she looks very comfortable in it. In fact, when she does climb into it, she strokes it and pads it. She feels safe there. She's used it a lot before. It's not a hostile environment for her, the Vac Suit. So we'll give her rank 1. The next skill, well, I'm also already mentioned piloting. She isn't the pilot, that's Kane. So we'll give her a 1. Presumably Kane has 1 or 2 levels of piloting. That should be enough there, I think. So let's get rid of those 2. We've got 4 more to go. What have we got? If you look down the list there, blade combat, no. Bribery, no. Vehicle, well, she didn't do too well on the APC and aliens. Jack of all trades, steward, there's no chance. Electronics, perhaps, maybe. Gun combat, well, she's already shown us in aliens that she's never touched a weapon before. So when aliens comes round, we can certainly give her gun combat 0 familiarity with how to pick up a weapon, point it, shoot it, reload it. Streetwise, mechanical, no. Navigation, perhaps, but it's Lambert's job. Gunnery, no gunnery. Medical, there's no sign of medical. Engineering now. On the DVD extras, the data file on the plate does say that she did a degree, master's degree in engineering. Is it Starship Engineering? Have a quick look here. So, engineering. So we're going to give her a level of engineering. Now she isn't the engineer. She's not even on the engineering staff. So we'll give her a 1. The officers, 3rd, 2nd, 4th and 1st, they're all given responsibilities over the ship. So the first officer is often, this is a merchant marine ships, is often to do with crew relations and cargo loading and unloading. There'll be one of the officers responsible for fire drills, safety, that kind of thing. So I would guess her responsibility is engineering. She's got some experience in it and some training. So she manages that aspect of the ship for Dallas. So let's get rid of 1 more. Let's got 3 more. What else is there? Computer, admin, pilots. Computer, now that's an interesting one. Computer. So in Alien, we do see her use the computer to carry out a diagnostic, not a diagnostic, what's the word? To analysis of the SOS signal, the distress signal from the moon. So she's quite adept at using them for tasks that need to be done. And when she does become the officer in command, when Dallas dies, she goes straight into the mainframe, the nerve center of Mother, and she switches it on. She knows what she's doing. She's done this before. You can see She knows what she's doing. So we're going to give her a 2 in computer. That could be her skill. And the final one, I like the look of admin there. And you might think, well, in Aliens, didn't she throw all that paperwork in the air? Two, all gone, right. Yeah, throw all that paperwork in the air and say all this bullshit. Well, that was that was a situation I would suspect, and maybe she does think that. But in the first film, she's quoting regulation after regulation at them. She she's confronting Dallas with regulation, so I'm thinking she knows the rules really well, and I think she can play the system. So I think we'll give her admin 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all skill levels used up there. I don't know if you agree with me with this. I mean, maybe with different skills would on the list would give a different skill. I might give a leader 1 for a start. But we don't have that on this list, and I like to stick to what we've got. I like to use the rules to build a setting rather than mash everything up. And why bother using the rules if you're not going to follow them? So there we go. That is Ellen Ripley, third officer in Traveller Stats. You may have something different in mind. So if you do, please put it in the comments below what you think the characteristics would be and what the skill choice would be you think for those 6 skill levels. Right, I may do another video on the origins of Hostile because again it began here with this event, but then it snowballed and snowballed and snowballed, trying other games, looking for ideas from games, mashing them together to create the setting that I wanted. It didn't quite come together until 2017, December the 9th, when I released Hostile, which was my version of the Traveller game I'd been playing all those years, using CFS engine rules, which gave me the chance to do that. Right, I'll say goodbye, and I will see you again in the next video. Thank you.